Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. And first of all, I would like to thank you all of you for joining our webinar series for today. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin our webinar, let's recite Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah first. Amin, 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 ya Rabbal Alamin. Hi, good morning. My name is Mazlina binti Pati as a moderator for the today's session webinar. I'm very pleased to see you here and welcome all to the Faculty of Information webinar series in 2022. For your information, this webinar is available through Facebook live at facebook.com/UiTMFPN. And just a little reminder before we get started, if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type them into the chat box, and inshallah, I will bring them up during the Q&A session after the presentation ended. Ladies and gentlemen, this webinar is organized by the Center of New and Emerging Technology Research for Information Science, which is known as a CENTRIS and supported by the Faculty of Information Management. Faculty of Information Management in UiTM Puncak Perdana Campus. This webinar today will discuss about an interesting topic, which is computer graphic and digital heritage preservation. Before the presentation begins, let me introduce our guest speakers today, Dr. Nur Haida Muhammad Shoaib. For your information, Dr. Nur Haida Muhammad Shoaib specialized in the field of computer graphic, particularly interactive computer graphic, collisions detections, and virtual reality. She normally gives lectures on computer graphic related subjects in the undergraduate level and supervise related postgraduate research at School of Computing, Faculty of Engineering, University Technology Malaysia, UTM. Now, she is an active member in the UiTM VI Cube Lab Research Group, a research group dedicated on the virtual, which is, they have four main areas on that research group, which is virtual reality, virtual environment, visualization, and also vision. Her current research focuses on the utilizing computer graphic and computer game technology in the preservation of both tangible and intangible cultural heritage, in which she contributes as a project leader, active member in various national and international grant research. Currently, she attached to the UTM Big Data Center, which is known as a UTM BDC, Ibn Sina Institute for Scientific and Industrial Research, ISI-SIR, University Technology Malaysia, as a research fellow. Dr. Nur Haida is also an active member in the Marie Curie Alumni Association's MCAA, which is particularly in the Southeast Asia chapter as a country representative. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the speaker for today to deliver the presentations. All right, Dr. Nur Haida, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Mazlina, for a very detailed introduction. And thank you very much to FIM, UiTM, for inviting me to deliver the talk. And today I'm going to give some preview on computer graphics and digital heritage preservation. So allow me to share my slides. Okay, a moment ya. Okay, can you see my slide now?
On the way, Doctor.
Okay, alright. So in the meantime, let me give more introduction about myself. I've been with UTM since mid-1990s, right after graduation, as a tutor, and later I went to do my master degree in computer graphics and virtual environment at University of Hull, UK. And a few years back, then I do my PhD also in computer graphics at UTM. So now I'm a senior lecturer, active researcher at UTM VCube Lab, and also research fellow at UTM BDC. Mostly in UTM BDC, I handle the things related to visualization and those sorts of things.
Okay, interesting. Doktor, slide doktor tak keluar lagi.
Okay. Saya dah buat slideshow.
Okay. Cuba doktor try once again.
Okay, let me try that again. Okay. Hopefully it's on the way now.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can
so
see it
can you
now.
see my slide? Okay,
Yes.
right. So the title of my talk today is Computer Graphics in Digital Heritage Preservation. And the outline of my presentation will be, I believe I should skip the introduction because I've given the introduction already. And then we will look into heritage, culture and cultural heritage. And then a bit about computer graphics and how it relates to the heritage preservation. Some example on computer graphics in heritage preservation. Then I will present our work in this area, and hopefully we have time for some promo on funding opportunities to get your research funded. Okay, so a little bit about our research group. It's called VCube Lab. There's supposed to be 3V, so hence the name of VCube. So we specializes on virtual environment and also virtual reality, augmented reality and also mixed reality. And then vision is for computer vision and also image processing and also visualization. So our focus area and activities are around design, implementation and application of computer graphics, computer vision and virtual environment, simulation and also immersive visualization theories, and we welcome any collaboration in this area. Okay, so before we move on, let us see what heritage and also culture is being defined. Okay, so I took the definition from UNESCO, in which they refer the culture as complex whole that includes knowledge, belief, arts, morals, law, custom, and any other capabilities and habits. While heritage, based on World Heritage Convention 1972, refers to monuments, groups of buildings, and also sites. And as the time progresses, interaction with humanity makes the whole environment can be regarded as heritage. Okay, so how about cultural heritage? Sometimes these terms are used interchangeably. So based on UNESCO's definition again, cultural heritage can be divided into tangible and also intangible cultural heritage. Okay, so tangible cultural heritage are the things that can be observed, movable, or unmovable, such as building, monuments, pottery, and everything. But for intangible cultural heritage, it's more subjective. It refers to the tradition, dances, local delicacies, and other local rituals. So this one, table one, is based on UNESCO's World Heritage, and I listed the example of different categories of cultural heritage and also heritage in Malaysia. So for example, we have natural heritage site, cultural heritage sites, memory of the world, global geopark, and also intangible cultural heritage. So in the table, it listed some of the example of these more specific categories of heritage and also cultural heritage. Okay, now, why do we need heritage preservation? Okay, we know that heritage is invaluable. It is usually passed from generation to generation and is now under threat and extinction. Okay, why does it falls under threat and extinction? It is due to many factors. For example, war. So war destroy many tangible heritage, buildings, historical sites and everything. And then climate change. Sometimes all this may be lost due to climate change. Modernization. This one probably more referable to the intangible cultural heritage. Assimilation, and now we have pandemic of COVID-19. We may lost many uh, experts in the area of our culture. So we need to do something to preserve the heritage. Otherwise, it could be lost forever. So what do we have? The options that we have in hand. Of course, we can go digital as one of the option. So now I would like to introduce about computer graphics as we do or as we deal with in UTM. Okay, there are many definition or um, people might think differently on computer graphics. So let me set the introduction of what we do. As you can see from the word cloud here, this is a very short survey that I did recently on a first year student, non-computer science student, and I asked them what the first thing that comes in your mind when when you think about computer graphics. So as you can see from the word cloud, design, illustration, and then what else? Video games, and then again design. These keywords, especially design, comes frequently into their mind. Of course, computer graphics also deals with design, arts, and everything. But in UTM, we are dealing with the technical aspect of computer graphics. So mostly we do the manipulation of data using suitable computer models to produce image. So that means we need to devise algorithm, methods, techniques related to computer, and the end product will be something that you can look at the screen. Okay. Now, how does computer graphics helps in heritage preservation? Of course, you can use computer graphics to model the 3D representation of the heritage site or building. And then you can do animation and you can do simulation, either time related to specific sites or to show the process or something related to the intangible cultural heritage. And you have also image processing and also computer vision to do different types of processing in order to preserve the heritage uh, sites or something. And we can also use virtual reality, augmented reality, and also mixed reality to engage participants with the heritage experience. And then we can also deal with user interface or interaction and user experience. Or this is more related to UI UX. Okay, so some of the examples here. The first one, okay, the real model of a Malay house. You can do the modeling to represent it and also to preserve it digitally. And then you can also recreate previous environment based on historical data or from experts view. So you can do some animation and simulation, and user can see what or how the environment looks like in the past. And then of course this one I believe is very familiar to most of you. I took this from UPEN and IPEN. And as you can see, Atuk here is playing Congkak with Kak Ros. So you can also use animation and simulation to show the intangible cultural heritage example to our future generation. And more examples on computer graphics in digital heritage preservation as can be found in the literature. This is not a definite example. There are many others, but I have summarized some of them. For example, for tangible cultural heritage preservation, there are computer graphics usage on virtual reconstruction of iconic building and heritage site. For example, A Famosa Fortress in Melaka, and also the traditional Malay house, for example, Rumah Tok Su in Kedah. And then you can also use computer graphics to do the virtual preservation of panoramic heritage, for example, Kota Kuala Kedah. And also asset management on virtual model of selected Malay traditional house in Kelantan. Of course, in this example, we see that computer graphic is the enabling technology. We need to also have participation from the expert in the area. For example, people in the heritage preservation, building heritage preservation, people related to the information management of these sites, and we can work closely together to create something that people can see, or sometimes people can experience either virtually or as a slideshow, something like that. Okay, now for intangible cultural heritage, we see that it involves local tradition and also traditional dances, games. It's harder to be represented in computer graphics compared to tangible cultural heritage. However, there are also work done, for example, in studying and representing wayang kulit of Kelantan. So they study on the visual style, how to capture the method, the capturing method. I mean, how to capture the wayang kulit into something that can be saved and can be shown digitally. And they also try to do interactive wayang kulit and also a computer games for wayang kulit. There are also multiple effort in developing traditional game into Android or iOS application. For example, here we see the Dam Ula or Snake and Ladder. And we also can do digital capture of traditional dances. So either using video and we do something with the data that we have, as I will later explain on what we are doing actually, or we can also use more specific hardware. For example, motion capture. If you have the motion capture system, then you will have a very detailed movement of the local dancers that we can later use to do some animation or related representation of the dancers. And again, example from Upin and Ipin is a digital storytelling. We can use these computer graphics tools, software and technology to ease the process of digital storytelling related to either tangible or intangible cultural heritage. Now, about our work. As you can see, previously there are the examples are more related to reconstruction of sites and also animation and everything. Now, I will show you some of our current work. Some of them are more towards development. Some are more on the research. Okay, so these two are done by our students, sample scene from marble game or permainan guli. So it's not only a recreation of Malay permainan guli or marble game, but since we are on computer graphics, we try to make the environment more engaging. So you can imagine if you are playing the marble game using keyboard and mouse, it's not very engaging. So what we did is to experiment on consumer hardware. For example, lip motion, which is not too expensive for the general user. So we combine a lip motion device to handle the natural gesture. So pinching, throwing, so people can pick up the marble and then throw it, and then all other rules of the game managed by the game engine. Okay, so that's one marble game, and the second one here below is a sample scene from Congkak game. So another student is actually trying to recreate the Congkak game, but now the focus is more on natural user interaction. So again, the student use lip motion to handle the picking and also the dropping of the marbles in the Congkak. So another one, Johor Figure Museum or Museum Tokoh in Johor. So another student actually tried to represent some of the area in Museum Tokoh Johor into a virtual museum. So this is the environment, and some exhibits, for example, musical instruments, floating menu here, and then they can also interact to get the information. So all is done using consumer-based hardware. Everybody has smartphones, so the application can be installed on a smartphone, and it is better to combine with Google Cardboard, or nowadays you can also download a template and create your own or build your own Google Cardboard without having to buy the actual Google Cardboard. So combination of smartphone, Google Cardboard gives you a low-cost head-mounted display to view the virtual museum. Okay, so the previous example shows the development types of project. So now is more on using the motion capture data to create animation. So later I will describe on why we do the motion capture session. It's related to the Zapin dance, one of the intangible cultural heritage found in the mostly in the southern part of Malaysia. So we asked the expert from Yayasan Warisan Johor and to collaborate with us. So one of the expert in Zapin dance wear the suit for motion capture, and all his movement is captured into a suitable representation. Then this data is used by the students. One of the usage is in producing animation. So in this example, the target is to introduce Zapin to children. So the student selected a figure which looks like a boy, and from the actual data of adult male, he uses some algorithm to map so that the measurement of adult dancer is can be used to create this a child dancer. Okay, so the process actually went through a few stages. For example, testing, and then he needs to set up the character using inverse kinematic so that the skeleton can guide the actual model to move as the data that we have. And then he did the skin binding, and then later he get the animated character. So at this stage now, you can see the skeleton here is part of the requirement for testing. In actual application, in actual animation, you need not show the skeleton here. This is for the comparison for this project. So one of the output from motion capture data reuse is to reuse the captured data towards a new animation. Okay, so another part of the project is on digitalizing the texture for the textile for the dancer. For example, they wear this samping, and then the student went to the Gallery Tenun, Yayasan Warisan Johor, to get some samples of the weave textile. So he changed from the picture that he took, and then to get the digitalized version. Supposedly, this is to be wear with the model, but then during testing, as you can see previously, the model does not use it. Okay, one of the reason is that mostly in UTM, our students is more on programming and less on the artistic or modeling aspect. Okay, so probably this one is not used in the model because of the fabric deformation. It's not very nice. Okay, now when we use the motion capture data, usually in mostly we do not have the face data unless we are in a very big studio. So we don't capture the facial data for the movement. So we have this blank dancer. So another research is to recreate or do some facial expression, basic facial expression for the dancer, so that as the dancer moves around, we can also see some change on facial expression, so that it doesn't look too what do you call that? Too unnatural. Okay, so another research is on focusing on the face here. So we have the character which is mapped with the motion capture data. So this character can move like the dancer moves, and they apply this technique called ray casting. As you can see from the face here, we cast a ray and see where this dancer is facing. And then based on certain rules, different position, and depending on where the dancer is facing, then it will engage facial expression changes, so that we have a more realistic animation on local dance. Okay, so this one is not our work, but another student is trying to improve the facial mapping here, because this one it is based on certain rules, so it's quite limited. So another student is trying to adopt these methods here, where we have real expression that we can map using certain algorithm to get a new facial expression, or we can also use different facial expression and map it onto a different person, just like deep fake. Okay. So now, just now Dr. Mazlina asked me, how do I start in the area of computer graphics and heritage preservation? So actually, this is where it started. we received a grant for Marie Curie Action for research, innovation, and staff exchange in 2016. And this is the name of the project. But basically, it deals with utilizing computer graphics and also artificial intelligence technique to preserve the performing arts related to intangible cultural heritage of Southeast Asia. So this is where it all started actually. So I started to study on cultural heritage and also intangible cultural heritage and how we could utilize computer graphics in order to preserve the diminishing heritage. So this is the website if you want to refer to what we did. Okay, it's a 4-year project, and since we have different partners, so from Malaysia, we bring forward Zapin dance as one of the example of local traditional dance, and we do the sample data collection. So we have a few sessions. One, as you can see here, we are using video cam to record the movement. And we also engage with another partner, KKTM, to do the motion capture data. So we have experts from Yayasan Warisan Johor to do the dancing. We capture the data with the help of KKTM, and we use this data to do further research, and also from the video. So as you can see, the video we use only one single view, so it's called monocular video. I don't have the picture, but we have another motion capture session where we use multiple camera to get a data similar to this one, but it's more tedious because we need to do post processing after the data capture. Okay, so these are the partners that we have in the MSCA RISE project involving the Zapin dance, Bournemouth University, partner from France, and partner from Southeast Asia, Thailand, and also Vietnam. So different partners participate in different tasks, especially techniques and also the different local dance that we brought forward to. So based on the data that we captured previously, and these are another 2 types of research with the same aim, which is to do motion extraction from monocular video. The reason behind this is that we can easily get video on different types of dances online, and also by using our own camera or handphone to capture this data. So what can we do with that? So based on the discussion, we have the idea to do the motion extraction, so that if we don't have the motion capture device, we only have the video, we can still create or get the movement data. So what we did is to do the key pose estimation and also motion extraction using different techniques. For example, this one is more related to computer graphics using inverse kinematic and also keyframe animation. And second approach is by using machine learning, where we train the machine to do extraction of different key pose and also the motion data. So that after that, once we get the data extracted from the video, we can reuse it to reproduce the animation. So this is what our students did in the postgraduate level. Okay, so another collaborative work. This is a recent one. We have this project called Nusantara Heritage, where we collaborated with Universitas Negeri Malang, and we selected different types of heritage to bring forward as a content in the website. And also to do the augmented reality development. For example, this one, our partner in Malang brought forward the topeng, as a Indonesia heritage, and we brought forward the Rumah Tukang Kahar, so one of the Malay building. And of course, we, the computer graphics partners, cannot do this without the help of expert. So the main player actually is from Faculty of Built Environment. We have the experts on um, local houses and the preservation of local houses. So they shared the data, and as an expert in computer graphics and virtual environment, we do some advising on the development of this type of content. So both on the website and also on the apps. Okay, so this is a recent one. Okay, as a summary, the advancement of computer graphics technologies, especially on the algorithm, techniques and method, and also currently virtual reality, augmented reality, and also mixed reality is gaining more popular. And we can combine this with the tools to offer exciting exploration for digital heritage preservation. As you can see from my slide, the trend is actually, it started off with passive viewing on 3D models that is reconstructed from previous documents and everything. And it moves to the more engaging and interactive content. Okay, using current technology, for example, virtual reality, augmented reality, and combination of tools. For example, we have a game engine that we can manipulate to give more interactive content. And this effort can be directed towards entertainment and education for general public, so that they are aware of our heritage and also intangible cultural heritage. And also, of course, when we talk about computer system, we can manage the digital document better, okay? And then we can use also the outcome of the effort to do planning and management on heritage preservation. Okay, and what we did now is to contribute more towards heritage preservation digitally for future generation. And a little bit about promotion, you can look into Mary's Roskaku reaction in this website to get more information. And you can contact me since I'm also the country representative for MCAA. If you want to know more about Mary's Roskaku reaction grant funding and how to apply, you can also contact me. And of course, I welcome many collaboration towards this area. Okay. So I believe that's all for my presentation. I would like to pass this to Dr. Mazlina.
Thank you, Haida, for the informative and interesting presentation. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now we come to questions and answer sessions. If you wish to ask a questions, you can simply type your questions into the chat box, and I will read it out. Okay, so Dr. Nur Haida, I think I have a
Yes.
questions. Okay. From your sharing
Okay.
just now, personally, I can say that it's very interesting project, especially on the user interactive to support ICH preservation for traditional game. Okay, that was
Okay.
very interesting. Okay, so from that, I just have a simple questions on that initiative. It is applications is accessible to the public right now or commercialized by any institutions?
You mean the you
The
previous one or our work?
your work.
Okay, on our work, mostly it's more on research because we are dealing with the improvement of technique. But for outcome for the MSCA project, which is the Marie Curie alumni, from the website that I share, you can see the available data that we have collected, and it's available for public download, and also some tools, for example, to extract some motion from video. They are also available on the website. And
Mm.
for the prototype of our Nusantara heritage, the website is there. User are supposed to be able to download the pamphlet because we need the marker for the augmented reality application. So you can visit the website and see the available material that you can see and download.
Oh, I see. So I think every one of us today yang baru tahu this kind of information can access the website to
Okay.
explore more about this project, right? Okay.
Yeah. Mm.
I think we still do not have any question dekat dalam kita punya Facebook ni. Maybe they are very, orang kata, teruja sampai terlupa nak tanya soalan, or your interaction, your presentation is very understandable. Okay, one more, doctor. I think I very looking forward to the motion captures system. Okay, I think it is very useful for educating the youngsters on the particular culture heritage. Okay,
Mhm.
especially on giving the real motion of the dance to the kids, to the new generation today. Okay, so is there any proper documentation that people can access to them selain daripada we can access from the website? Is there any agencies, for example library or archive, yang responsible to manage this kind of the digital documentation ni?
I believe from our collaboration, Yayasan for Warisan Johor, for example, as one of the bodies, uh, which is responsible to the preservation of local heritage, is actually doing the documentation on the traditional dance. At the time of our collaborative work, they are actually in the process of writing this book and
Oh.
and documenting all the process in a book.
Mm-mm.
And since we are doing some video capture, they have the idea of doing similar things. So you can also approach Yayasan Warisan Johor as one of the body to get the proper documentation. And I believe we also have a Jabatan Museum Negara for other types of heritage, right? And then we have many other governing bodies that we can approach.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
so. I hope they are still manage the collections is good as they can. Okay, doctor. I think there are no questions from the Facebook and also the YouTube. So before we end our session, okay, I would like to thank Dr. Nur Haida for the informative and interesting sharing today. And to all other audience, I very appreciate for your active participations. Hopefully, this webinar will be beneficial for everyone. Okay, especially on the information that shared by the Dr. Nur Haida regarding to the platform for us to access all those informations that have been documented. Okay, before we leave, please make sure you already fill the attendance form that available in the chat box. Okay, InsyaAllah, thanks again for joining us today and I hope we can see you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera.
Salam. Thank you, Centris and FM.
Okay.